Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Hope you're doing quite well. This video is all about preserving and all that good stuff, as well as some of the pickups I did get, as well as discussing my stuff with it as well. So today we are, of course, going to be starting off with this device right here. Now, I got this Epilogue a while back. I picked this up primarily so that way I could play a lot of my Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games on stream, as well as just in general, as well as back up all my ROMs, my saves, everything else on the cartridges that I own personally. And to me, this is always a great example of preserving your collection, because you can play it physically or you can play it digitally. It allows you to do both. Now, this, of course, opened the gateway for something else I was also planning to get in the future. So just in case I wanted to back up my personal collection and play it the way I want to, because again, quite frankly, I don't think there should be any official rule how you should enjoy something that you bought already or something that you got secondhand or whatever. Now, when it comes to piracy, that's a whole nother ball game. I'm not here to argue that in this video, so toss that to the side automatically. So this video right here is about me talking about things that I own, things I backed up, and things I played on devices such as this. Now, the Myo Mini Plus, I ended up picking this up originally because I wanted to play a lot of my Game Boy games on here, or my, Game Gear games, or whatever. Primarily for that purpose. Now, this goes up to PlayStation 1. It allows you to play PlayStation 1 games. So I goofed around with that as well. I backed up my copy of Symphony of the Night, Final Fantasy VII, yada, yada, yada. And I put it up on this device. Now, it runs good for PlayStation 1 titles, but again, as you can tell, not quite built for the analog support at all. And that was my only deal breaker there. But again, the Myo, when it comes as a device, is fantastic. Feels super comfortable. Micro switches everywhere. Just a really nice Cadillac experience for a handheld. It's very personable when it comes to size, and it fits right in your pocket. And overall, it's a wonderful piece of machinery here. Now, I played with this for a while. Thought it was fantastic. However, much like anyone who has a toy and they want to upgrade, insert dirty joke here, I decided I wanted to upgrade and get something that I can expand upon my collection even further. Take games I have existing sitting in my collection here and simply back them up and play them. Now, this stuff still has stuff in here I need to break down and wipe out most of the collection in here, but for demonstration purposes, I was showing you basically what was in this originally. But there's going to be stuff in here I'm going to be taking out for sure. Because again, for me, I prefer to just have my humble collection in here just so I can access it from a handheld perspective or from a, projecting it to a television kind of thing. And this has Bluetooth and built into the thing too, so I can use a controller if I want to. It's really nice. And that is none other than the Anbernic RG35XX H. Now, this thing right here is pretty wild. Now, it comes in a very nice case. As you can see right here, I already took it out. And it came with this nice little super bundle, as I would say. Has like a carbon fiber style or looking case here. Comes with an HDMI to mini HDMI. So again, if you even have that Neo Geo little mini cabinet, you can plug into the TV and everything like that. This is a great backup for that too. Now, it says that it is a 4K UHD, which it's not. It allows you to, of course, plug this into like an Elgato or whatever, or plug it directly into your TV as you should or would or whatever. And you can, of course, play this off of that. So it gives you some nice options here. Now, the device itself is pretty cute. Now, it comes with a charger cable. It did not come with this, which I would say get one of these card readers if you can to kind of do what you want to do with the device itself. Again, I'm not here to exclaim how to do anything with the device. I'm not, this isn't this type of video. So, again, comes with that for your charging purposes, or if you want to access the device through your computer or what have you. It allows you to do so. Now, it comes in this nice little case here, which is included if you've got the certain version of it on TikTok, which I did. And this is the device itself. Now, this is translucent white. I ordered the purple one, but they gave me translucent white, which is not a huge deal. I'm not mad about it. That color is pretty slick, though, because I wanted to make it match my atomic purple looking one here for a Mayo. But again, not a big deal. So, came in such as this, and I got to clear out those air bubbles. I have something I use that actually fixes it. Hold on. Yeah, I have to fix that later. Air bubbles be damned. My OCD is, I'm thinking about that for the rest of the video now. So it basically comes in as such as this. Has buttons at the top. Has two USB-Cs at the top here. This side right here is DC, so you can basically charge it. This is to get into the main menu. This is the mini HDMI, so you can plug this into the TV. This right here is, I believe, for data or a controller, I think. That's your 3.5 jack, or 3.5, 3.1, 3.5 jack, I think it is. Having a brain fart here. Comes with the buttons here, as you could probably hope. Clicky buttons here as well, so that way supports R3 and L3 rather. At the bottom has double speakers as well as 2 ports for your SD cards. Now it comes with a, this is a 64 and this is a 128. I think you can go up to terabyte, or was it? I think it was 500. I'll type a correction here afterwards on the screen. You'll see it. But it comes with all that and more. Now powering it on here. Now the device itself isn't anything to write home about with the interface. We'll pop into it in a second here. But again, as you can see, it just has a very straightforward screen. Now, the D-pad is really cool. Like, it's pretty snappy. It's solid. No big deal. Analog stick, again, fantastic. Now, it doesn't have a lot of shabam when it comes to the interface here. You could probably tweak it yourself if you know how to. Unlike the Mayo, this right here is no flash and shebang, if you will, at all whatsoever. So again, if you're expecting a fancy interface, again, that's something you're probably gonna have to look up and do it yourself. For me, I'm too lazy to want to do it right now. But again, it just comes with all sorts of different games here, as well as it lets you instantly access a lot of the RetroArch interface here automatically through the device, as well as let you sort through your folders, which I'll show you here right now. Now, as you can see right here, it comes with a built-in little interface here. It's pretty snappy. It works well for what it is. You can also search through your catalog as well and find whatever. You also have a history here too. You have favorites you could also set up for. Now, again, the options here, how you can set everything up, is up to you. You can also test out the device, make sure it works properly and all that, if you want to. Again, mine works fine, so I'm not really messing with that too much. As you can see, right, the interface is not anything to write home about. Like, it's not crazy, it's not insane, it's adequate, where it works good enough for what it is. It looks super clean on a big screen. And so you can see here, it does a lot of different consoles, as well as it offers plenty of ports here. Now, I don't believe Blood is on this, so I'm not going to try. As you can see, it's not installed. I would have to go get my GOG copy and set this all up. So, again, if you want to do all that, you pretty much got to go through a little tutorial on probably some website here or whatever. But it does support those games if you so desire. Now, Duke Nukem 3D, I believe that's not included. As well as, I think it's interesting, they have the newest version here of Exhumed. I'm very curious if this is actually on here. Nope. Okay. So, they respected some laws there. So, I would have to go in there afterwards and set it up. But as you can see right here, they have a bunch of different games on here. They have the build engine game there, NAM, open source things for like Quake and everything. So again, if you have copies sitting on GOG or whatever else, or Steam, you can grab the files there and do it that way, which I would recommend that overall. It's pretty cool, though. They do have these options available, so those PC classic nuts like myself can, of course, enjoy different games. I'll show you a little bit of an example here. Now, the interface for this isn't perfect. As you can see, it's... Sorry, I'm looking through the viewfinder there. I should probably be looking at the game itself. So you can see right here, it has some slight issues with resolution. You probably have to tweak that yourself to get it perfect. But again, that's one of my minor grievances with this device, is it does 4:3 perfect. That's not the problem. But as you can see, again, it does have some slight issues there with certain games that are presented in 16:9, or they're not projected correctly. So overall, the interface is pretty cool. It does allow you to play Saturn games. Now, I've had some issues setting it up, which I have to go get the BIOS off of my console here afterwards again, because I freaking can't remember like I put mine. But again, it has all kinds of different things here, as well as it has collections here, which I'm going to again be scrubbing down a lot of them. But this is my personal copy of Exile here on the TurboGrafx 16 CD. Now, you can see over here, again, it does a great job with emulation. A lot of the BIOS are included with this, too. Depending on what you feel is right or wrong about that, that's entirely up to you. But if you are a collector who likes to kind of set things up himself or herself, or themselves, basically you can do that no problem. Now, you can see over here, it runs different consoles, no problem here, especially if they're game. I would highly recommend, if you're going to play this or you're going to get this, definitely aim towards consoles that are 4:3 as opposed to 16:9, unless you can figure it out, something I haven't seen yet, with setting up the ROMs that they run more properly. Now, this does house different emulators, such as PPSSPP. And for myself, who has a lot of PlayStation Portable titles sitting in my catalog, it would just boil down to me, pardon me, finding the time to go through there and, simply add those in. Now, they do show quite a few games here. Obviously, a couple of these, again, I'm going to be stripping down over time. But they have different titles here you can, of course, set up and play, such as Bloody Roar, which is my Japanese copy here. Again, I'm going to do this in real time to show you how quickly it all kind of loads up and plays. Again, super snappy, works really well. What the hell am I doing? Like, I was super ecstatic to get Bloody Roar. It's one of my favorite fighters on the PlayStation. Rented this a couple times, really adored it. Again, you can see here, runs super well. The menu here, going from platform to platform, or going from this to that to the other thing, it takes a little while to load in, which a little bit of a grievance as well, but it's not, it's not forever. Like, it doesn't take like 3 weeks. This does support Dreamcast, so I ended up ripping my copy of Berserk, or Sword of the Berserk, and of course setting that up. This I do not own, so again, stuff basically like this, it's gray area. Like, for me, I'm going to be stripping down a lot of the things I do not own and things I do keep, things I do own. So it's more so a moral choice what you think of all that. Like, for me, I'm not the type of person who likes to go through and judge anyone who gets this and just keeps everything involved either. It's like, it's whatever, right? I mean, I'm not here to judge you. So basically, I was able to rip my copy of like Final Fantasy VII, for example, and put it on here. Just putting things I do own and don't own on here, and just kind of play it from there. And it's really cool too that it has different options, as well as setting this thing up through the interface on the, at least setting it up in the background of it or the cartridge of it is pretty simple because, again, a lot of stuff's already pre-set up for you. I didn't see anything need to update it at all yet, but I'm assuming you can, no problem. And then life is good. So it does have a bunch of different games here too, which again, if you have them or you don't have them, it again just has so many different awesome games too. I did notice again that this has some interesting issues with resolution. Now you can see right here the Terminator, at least that right there, that little still image, it kind of pops off the screen there a little bit. Now on my end, it's barely on there. So again, it really more so it's how you capture it and all this and that and the other thing. But it does include an impressive collection of emulators that if you so desire, you can just set them up and just play them. It's interesting too because you can actually jump in here and try things you never tried before. And I like that. Like, it does help you look at things in certain ways. For example, they have Animal Crossing Wild World on here, which I was like looking at that going, what the fuck? You know, just kind of like and I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I do have the game, but it was just funny to me that they included it. Now, it surprisingly works well, but I would say that, you know, it's not the greatest thing to play. Now, I do have Chasm the Rift, so we're going to try to run this here. Which I think it should be Y. Okay. I forgot how to set the menu here. Oh well. I have to look up after how to use the keyboard, but you can certainly probably hook up a keyboard and mouse to this thing, no problem. Now, I've pulled, again, some things off of my collection here and kind of goofing around with this, see if it actually works. I love it. That was actually off of my collection. It has Electro Man included. So I decided to yank that and see if it actually worked, and it did, that part at least. That was pretty wild. Again, you can see over here, this folder also has a similar stuff on there as well. So again, if you have copies of those, you can do that. There's also apps as well, so you can actually turn off certain things if you desire. So it does have some cool stuff on here. As well as Ridge Racer runs really damn good on this, by the way, with that analog stick. Oh my god, it's night and day. I mean, the thumb stick that you have on the PSP is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, not arguing that. But at the same time, it looks like it's a little bit better. It spoils me a little bit playing this. But yeah, basically anything such as this, like my copy here of Dracula X Chronicles, I have like 2. And so I grabbed my copy off of my PSP to play it on here and try it out. And lo and behold, it was out there already. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's just really cool that you can basically do all this. But overall, let's go over into my little bit of impressions here and then wrap this up. So give me a quick sec. Now, again, whether you definitively agree that this is gray area or not, one thing is certain is that it's pretty awesome to kind of sit back and enjoy your personal collection on a device such as this. Now, for me, I love playing my collection no matter what. Does not matter what it is on, as long as I can preserve and play and enjoy what I bought, along with every other's opinion when it comes to what they bought and want to enjoy, or just simply play games and enjoy them. Again, at the end of the day, it's your choice. You do what you want to do. You do you, boo, is basically it. For me personally, for the years I spent, and as well as many others who've spent buying consoles, whether it's on the Switch, if it's on the Game Boy, whether it's on the Sega Genesis. For me personally, I feel like preserving a console is remembering it, by enjoying it, by just playing the fucking games. I mean, that's why we get these things, right? We get these things to effectively play these video games. And for those who have never experienced those games, get to experience it for the first time is sometimes even just through this. Because there's generations who don't even know what the hell the NES is until they actually experience it, and they're like, oh, now I see why those people liked it. So would I recommend this device to you? Now, if you are very picky about resolutions, unless you could figure it out yourself and probably teach me, because I don't know. But basically, as far as I am concerned with this device, it does its job very well. It does have some issues here and there. Now, when it comes to the legality of this thing, it is gray area heavily. For me, I personally am stripping down the device. I'm going to be using my own games I happen to own, and I'm backing them up and playing them on this. And that's basically how I'm going to handle with this device. Now, when it comes to how you handle the device, that's up to you. Or if you don't want nothing to do with it at all, that's also cool. For me, the device is great. It does have some issues with the resolution area. I was mentioning that before. Support with games is fantastic, so there's no arguments there. The buttons and the layout and everything, they feel super tight, super responsive. I've not had an issue playing any game on there. There's been certain games on the PSP, because again, the PSP had a big screen on that thing. That thing was a beast. And for it to even be able to handle that is quite impressive, but again, unless you're playing it a certain way, the resolutions is going to be limited on it. At least I've seen. Again, if you can figure that out and just tell me, cool. But as far as this device goes, the RG35XX H is absolutely worth buying if you can get it on sale. I got this one through TikTok. I'm not commissioned by them. I'm not endorsed by them. But I would say that this is a great device if you're looking to preserve your own personal collection, or you're trying to experience a lot of the retro games of yesteryear. Or you're trying to see games you've never seen before, or games you're looking to buy but you want to try them. Is also another option, I say. But as far as it goes, this is a great device. It supports a lot of older games as well. I'm trying to look into actually setting it up so I can play a lot of my GOG games on here, no problem. Because I heard there's a way you can do it up to a point. Like there's a certain way you can actually do it besides grabbing like the DOS files and setting it up that way, and it would just work. Otherwise, really cool device and worth checking out. But for now, take care everyone, and see you next time.